As promised, here is the much awaited comparison video of Redmi Note 6 Pro and Redmi Note 5 Pro, and at the end of this video you should be able to judge which phone to buy. As you know, this is Satish and let's get started. Let's start with the basics first. Redmi Note 6 Pro is all set to launch in India next month for an expected price tag of Rs 15,000 for 4GB of RAM, and you should be able to buy either on Flipkart or Amazon. On the other side, Redmi Note 5 Pro was launched in March this year along with two other Redmi phones for a price tag of Rs 14,999 for 4GB of RAM, and this phone's price might be slashed as soon as Redmi Note 6 Pro is being unveiled. I will leave links to buy these smartphones in the description below, do check it out. The packaging is a bit different, but the accessories you find inside the boxes are same. Both the boxes get TPU cover, user guides, USB cable 2.0, power adapter and SIM ejector pin. That's it. Both the phones look identical in terms of design and in physical characteristics on rear side of the phone. Both the phones has metal body. The caps on top and bottom of rear side of the phone are made of plastic. Even the frame is plastic, but it is very solid. When holding phones, particularly Redmi Note 6 Pro seems more slimmer due to the curved design. Saying this doesn't mean Redmi Note 5 Pro is thick. It is just that Redmi Note 6 Pro is designed in such way it has more curved design on back. Even the placement of features like loudspeaker and USB charging slot placement, power unlock and volume rockers, SIM slot are same on both the devices. The only difference you spot on top of the phone is Redmi Note 6 Pro has 3.5mm audio jack on top along with infrared port compared to the just infrared port on top of Redmi Note 5 Pro. The dual rear camera setup and its protruding bump from side view are almost same on both the devices, even the placement of the fingerprint scanners. Both the phones has overall good build quality. Let's talk about the most important part of the phone, that's the display. Redmi Note 6 Pro has huge 6.2-inch Full HD Plus IPS display with 403 pixels per inch, and the ratio panel found here is not just 18:9 but 19:9 ratio panel. The front is mostly dominated by 81% screen to body ratio, and the notch kind of distracts this gorgeous phone on front. The display is bright and has emotions, good color production. Even when tilted, it still managed to offer legibility. Redmi Note 6 Pro has bit more display vertically to play due to the 19:9 over 18:9 ratio panel. The Redmi Note 5 Pro as well does and offers the same, though the front might not be all display. Simultaneously, it is not huge or thick bezels on front. Good thing is it doesn't have notch that bothers many, and the performance of the display is almost same as Redmi Note 6 Pro. Both has 4GB of RAM and same Snapdragon 636 chipset. Does that mean both the phones offer the same? Well, in Antutu benchmark test, Redmi Note 5 Pro still managed to perform little better than Redmi Note 6 Pro in a close margin, but this may be due to the kind of apps and media in the Redmi Note 6 Pro. Out of 4GB of RAM, you still get around 2.4GB of RAM that is sufficient enough for multitasking to make sure there are no lags occurring during the operation. Out of 64GB of internal storage, you would still get around 54GB of internal storage, which is almost a mini hard disk for me. Considering all these factors in the phone, this is the reason why these two phones perform well during multitasking, and Snapdragon 636 is good and power efficient as well. In fact, both the phones has hybrid SIM slot and both the phones support dual 4G. I wanted to test these phones with PUBG game, and by default it chosen low graphics. Game managed to initiate smoothly as there were no lags or frame drops during the gameplay. And I went on to play in smooth graphics play mode and it did not lag at all. Both the phones run on Android Oreo 8.1, but Redmi Note 6 Pro runs on MIUI 9 compared to the Redmi Note 5 Pro running on MIUI 10. We can soon anticipate MIUI 10 hitting Redmi Note 6 Pro worldwide. I personally impressed with MIUI 10 due to the smoother performance, fluid multitasking and more visual experience. Camera department is something where these two smartphones are being compared predominantly because of the 4 cameras factor found on Redmi Note 6 Pro. Redmi Note 6 Pro spontaneously attracts audience compared to the 3 cameras found on Redmi Note 5 Pro. Both these phones has 12 megapixel and 5 megapixel camera combo, but Redmi Note 6 Pro has much better aperture rate of f1.9 and dual pixel technology, which is not found in Redmi Note 5 Pro, but this is not a huge deal to consider. Both the rear cameras in these phones are incredible. Image quality is impressive and smooth. But Redmi Note 6 Pro is one step ahead by utilizing AI capability on both front and rear cameras, and photos are more realistic compared to the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Both are capable of recording videos in 1080p at 30 frames per second and has stabilization support as well. Stabilization works brilliantly on both the phones, and good to see such performance under 15,000 rupees price segment. Again, both the phones can shoot in slow motion as well, that does moderate job. Coming to the front camera department, Redmi Note 6 Pro comes with dual 20 megapixel and 2 megapixel cameras. And for your information, Redmi Note 5 Pro has front LED flash, and this is not found in Redmi Note 6 Pro. With Redmi Note 6 Pro, it actually uses a dedicated 2 megapixel camera that helps to blur the background, and of course there is AI technology in this as well. The 4000 mAh battery on these devices should definitely not gonna let down most of the users, as the battery can last long for 2 days if used moderately. Since the power adapter provided with these phones are just 5E, so you can't expect these phones to quick charge with default power adapters. It takes nearly 100 minutes to full charge these devices. I don't want to waste much time in talking about the fingerprint scanner, as both the scanners are fast and responsive. The face unlock on both the devices works super fast using its whopping 20 megapixel camera, except in low light conditions. Here's the loudspeaker test. The loudspeaker found in Redmi Note 5 Pro is slightly louder in terms of sound clarity, as the audio tuning and vocals are better, but again this is not a huge deal to consider. The one day department where Redmi Note 6 Pro is superior is on camera. Frankly, this is not a real upgrade over Redmi Note 5 Pro, as it seems Xiaomi just want to flood the market with its smartphone just like Samsung used to do. So what do you think? Post your opinions in the comment section below and let know me. And as usual, if you think I deserve a credit for making this video, then hit the subscribe button to become a part of this rapidly growing community. This is Satish, have a nice day and stay awesome.